Did you know we're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast with Bruce and Riina?
You doing all right?
Yes, we just had a long rehearsal today, signing all our special kind of vinyl that's going to be available. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, that was a couple of hundred.
You guys are in Denmark, is that correct?
Yeah.
Ah, there she is. There's my partner, Riina. She's over in Finland.
Hi, Riina.
Hey, how you doing?
Very good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Thank you for taking the time to join us. I appreciate it.
Of course.
So anyway, we can just jump right in.
Yeah.
For those not familiar, and first of all, I've got to ask you, how do you pronounce that name so I don't butcher it? Because Riina will tell you I'm really bad at.
It's pronounced Baest.
Okay, that's what I was going to say, but then I didn't want to butcher it because I've done that in the past and gotten quite a few laughs.
Yeah, but it is fun.
Anyway, so for those not familiar with your band, can you give us like the 2-sentence boardroom pitch?
Yeah, Baest is basically started as an old school death metal worship band in the beginning, worshiping a lot of old school Morbid Angel, both over especially a lot of Bloodbath in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And now we're on our third record, full length through Century Media Records. And it's coming out this Friday. It's a fresh mix of old school death metal, I would call it. So a lot of the old influences, but with a different take.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, thanks.
What was it like recording, or how did you guys go about recording this during this whole nonsense that we're living through? Were we able to get together in the studio, or was it more emailing back and forth?
Actually, we all live in the same town, basically. So we rehearse twice a week, and we were lucky enough to be able to continue doing that through this pandemic. So we basically just kept rehearsing a lot and found out that we could actually rehearse as much so we could learn how to play the whole album live. So we decided to record it live.
Oh, that's recorded live?
Yeah, the whole album.
Wow. That's the old school way.
Yeah, it is. We were just lucky, I guess, to have enough time. But yeah, we basically went in the studio and started out with recording Necro Sapiens, the title track. Mm-hmm. And it felt good, and everyone liked to do it that way. You know, we did 5 takes and chose the one with the best energy. And yeah, it felt good. So we kept doing that, probably 2 songs a day in a week.
Wow.
And then it felt good, and it was fun. And during the evenings after recording, we would have Simon singing on top of it, and everyone would have had a lot of wine and beer, so everyone was in a really great mood and was hyping Simon out. And there was a poor guy called Ole, who was the assistant engineer. So we basically had to stay for a week with us and wait for us till we were ready to record the vocals in the evening, and then we would go nuts. And you would have to sit there on the computer, press play, and zone out of all the guys yelling death metal stuff to the guy in the booth. It was amazing.
Awesome. Riina?
Yeah, that's really cool. I know in Motown days, that was what you did, was to record live. You had the entire band and the singers even do their bits at the same time. That's amazing. I am like super impressed that that's how you did it. And was there any sort of issues? And because I really liked that what you said, how you then picked the one with the best energy. Because nowadays, like making albums, making music, you have the tools to sort of fine tune everything, get all the mistakes out of there. So was there any of the songs that you know has like some sort of technical issues? And I'm not talking about the poor guy doing the recording, but like in the playing parts. Is there like bits that will then go like, shit, that's, that's not played correctly, but we want it to be there,
I actually think I have a tiny mistake in the beginning of Genesis on the first track of the album. Actually, I think I'm the only one hearing it, but there's a small mistake. We have recording the third song, Sa. We had a full day of tuning problems. The guitars just wouldn't tune, so some of it aren't really in tune, but it makes for an atmosphere and it makes for a feel that is live. And basically the whole idea came from, in the past when we wrote songs, we went into the studio and had to map out the whole click tracks and whatever, and then we had to change the songs around to make it fit the click track. That's not how we do it. That's not how we play it live, because we don't use any in-ears monitors or triggers or anything. That's basically the same setup as we have in the rehearsal space. So this time it was just go as we did in the rehearsal, and that's, we write all the songs together, everyone present, and then it felt good to record them, everyone present.
I've said this before on the podcast, and I think it still stands true, and you're proof of it. Doing it like that makes it so much more organic and immediate and more. I'm old, so that's more towards the way, I grew up when people recorded like that or rehearsed like that. It's more, I guess, organic is the best word I can say.
Yeah.
And it translates perfectly into the live setting, right?
Yeah, it does. And it's, for us, it's great to go on stage and know that we play through the exact same amps, the same guitars, it's the same mics we mic the stuff with, and then it's basically if the audience were in the studio with us. There's
and
no
like
difference.
and like Riina said, if you're playing to that click track, it becomes very sterile, but there's a natural flow and movement, I think, when you're playing live, right? Because not everybody is on the 4/4. There's going to be a little movement here and there, right?
It has to be, and sometimes that's the fun part, because at some parts we just slow a bit down or speed a bit up. For example, the ending of Meat Hook Massacre is that's an ending that everyone loves incredibly much. So everyone really grooves and feels it when you play it. So I think that's that vibe just from playing it live. And yeah, fun parts we just play faster sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think you can hear it.
Everybody just gets so excited that the tempo doubles.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love that song name, by the way. I just it instantly reminded me of the Clive Barker Midnight Meat Train movie.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how brains work? I'm like, oh yeah, that movie. I haven't watched that in a while. It's pretty good.
Love song.
There was that guy with the meat hook.
Right. Meat
Dead
Hook
New-
Massacre, the new love song.
Right.
Yeah. Almost.
You could do it as a ballad, and everybody's got their lighters in the air.
I think they would. We have some crazy fans out there. Sometimes we play the Danish shows. They have the lighters up during Crosshore, because that's the most melodic and kind of dancey song.
Right.
But still, it's called Crosshore. So
that's the Baest ballad of sorts.
yeah, I guess.
As close as you get to a ballad, anyway.
None of us really think it's fun to play ballads, so it always ends up in some groove. And
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of the new stuff. We're writing new material at the moment just because we can't play live, so why not? And it's a lot of it sounds really 80s, like 80s rock guitar.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what's fun at the moment, and we'll see how much of that ends up on an album. But basically, we think it's fun.
I also find it interesting, and I think Riina brought this up in an interview before, that you're open to morphing the sound a little bit, and it doesn't have to be just straight up death metal. If you're playing with some 80s sounds as well, that's kind of cool that you're not pigeonholed.
In the beginning, we had to do it like that because it was trying to find out who we were, so we had to find some rules and follow them. But then we found out we could do that. The EP and the first album was really, really death metal, and the demo as well. And now we tried to do something else to mix it up, to find out what is it that makes everyone laugh while we're playing and makes everyone want to scream in the rehearsal space. That's we've gotten the closest to that on this album here.
And then you play faster as you get more excited.
We tend to. We try not to all the time, but we tend to.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
But you guys are so incredibly lucky if you get to like have 2 band practices a week. Like you must like live close, have very little. Well, I don't mean to say you don't have any responsibilities in your life. I'm sure you do, but like you're not usually when we're grown-ups, you don't have 2 nights off a week. It's impossible.
Basically,
jobs or
everyone is off on Mondays because we said everyone has to. So if you wanna be a part of it, you have to take your Monday off, and we rehearse every Monday and have meetings with our management, and because we can't see it as a hobby or a spare time activity, we have to see it as a job and as a professional endeavor. So if we don't try to be pro about it, we're never going to be pros. So that's basically a sacrifice we're making at the moment that hopefully sometime in the future it will pay off. But yeah, you can basically do whatever you want as a band. If you can explain at home to the wife and the kids that this has a greater meaning than going into a room and drinking beers and playing loud guitars. This also we have some dreams and some goals and stuff. And I think we also, because we're the same guys since the beginning, so everyone is kind of a family now. So we know all the kids and all the wives and all the stuff, and everyone knows what we're doing. So they don't see it as a waste of anyone's time. They see it as a important part of everyone's life.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's really nice. And obviously one really big enabling factor for you guys to do this is living in the same town. Like my band is spread out all over Finland. Like there's no fucking way we could ever have 2 band practices a week. We just we book up, and now we can't do it because I can't even travel inside Finland. But anyway, like normally it would be a weekend and then just play 8 to 12 hours a day and just really cram that practice into that time. But I find even if, so that it's amazing. I'm super jealous that you get to do that, but also applauding you for making that sacrifice. It's not easy, and I applaud your wives for supporting you with that, or girlfriends or partners or anybody in your life who gets a say.
The wives are the baddest because Moody, the bass player, the first tour we did with Decapitated, we went for 25 days, and his firstborn daughter was 2 or 3 weeks old when we left.
Wow.
And she took it like a champ. And Lasse also has a kid, and he left almost after he got born as well. And so they're really supportive, and they have to be if this is going to succeed, and it will at some point, because it's it has to. And my brother is a manager, and he's living off of doing management for us and booking for us, so he's also a big part of it. So we have a guy working full time on the band, but not for the band, because he's a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
He's an extra member.
He's an extra member. Yeah. Please remember to vocalize your appreciation to the wives. Don't just say it in this podcast. Tell them every day.
We will tell them every day.
What do you guys have planned? I've asked this before too, but what do you guys have planned for? Are you doing any sort of live streams or anything for your fans during this weird downtime?
Yeah, we've done a couple already. We did one with releasing a live DVD from Copenhagen 2019. We played a show there for 18,000 in the audience. So that was pretty amazing. And that was the biggest show for us. So that was an event. We did the Isolation Fest with Century Media. We've done some signings, and we're going to do a bit more of that this coming week with the album coming out. And this Thursday, we're going to play a show on the Danish national television. It's called the GAFA Awards. So it's an award show, and we're playing in the middle of it. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to record some more for some American magazines. And basically, there's going to be a lot of streaming and stuff.
That's all we got at this point, right?
Yeah, it is.
So for fans who want to check out Baest, are you guys normal social media, active social media wise?
Yeah, we just made a fan group in Facebook that allows our fans to get a little bit closer and more, not that intimate, but more intimate. We have some special newsletters for the fan club as well. Some merchandise advances, not advances, some discounts on merchandise because you're in the fan club. All the fans are really active in there, like throwing up the interviews we're doing and texting each other on where they saw us the first time and stuff. So
you want to give us those links for both of them?
Yeah, I'll throw them in there.
Okay, cool. And I've got nothing else. Riina, you good?
I'm good, and it's not because you're boring, Svend. It's because I'm super fucking tired. And, yeah, but no, it's really interesting. I didn't see the whole recording live thing coming, so it was
Actually,
like the surprise of the day.
You can go watch the Meat Hook Massacre music video. That's recorded while we actually tracked the song. We just dimmed the lights and put on some cool lights. Yeah, you can see, because Sebastian does some drum stuff that's on video, and he only did it that time because we didn't know if any of those clips made it to the music video, but they did.
And I know you said you were going to send me the links, but do you want to just go ahead and give them to us here for those listening?
Yeah, you can go into Facebook and you write Necro Sapiens, and that's the fan group.
Okay.
And everyone's welcome. And yeah, it's fun in there.
Okay, cool. All right, and the record's, I love it. We've been banging it earlier on. I've been listening to it all day, and I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Awesome, man.
Stay safe. Well, good luck with the record.
Thanks, man.
Nice.
Stay safe.
Congratulations for the record.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Take care,
Bye.
All right, bye.